Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Documented Journey. Today I am going to be sharing with you a sketchbook spread. It was actually from my trip, but I'm also going to be answering some of your assumptions. I went ahead and did a poll over on Instagram and I asked them if they would give me some assumptions that they had of me, and then I can kind of talk about it while you're watching me paint. So let's just turn the camera around and get started. Okay, so before I start this whole assumptions answering of the questions thing, I just wanted to go and dive into what materials I'm going to be using in the video. So that way, if I have any of those questions, they can just be answered up front. To start, the notebook that I'm using is a Stillman & Byrne Alpha series. That's the type of paper pretty much in the notebook, and although it's not amazing for watercolor, that's what I'm using it for. It's okay. This small notebook is a pocket-sized notebook, so it's 3.5 by 5.5, and I think that is where my holdup is. I'm just struggling to enjoy the size. I have dove hard into the larger notebooks, and I'm just enjoying those very much so at the moment, so the smaller notebook is just a little bit harder. That is the notebook I'm using. The pen I'm using is a Karas Customs copper pen. I have a refill inside, which is the Ballograph. It is an archival ballpoint pen ink. I have a little hack on my Instagram page that walks you through how I make these two things work together. So if you're interested, you can check that out. But I love this pen, use it all the time. It is solely my only ballpoint pen. I've sold all the rest, so I really do enjoy this one in particular. Then towards the end of the video, you'll see that I'm using watercolor, and the watercolor I am using is by Da Vinci. I was gifted this from one of my lovely patrons. Speaking of patrons, I love them so much. They have become a huge support system for me, and I am so grateful for them. All right, so let's dive into these assumptions, and so I can answer these. There was two that were like pretty prevalent, but the one that won the most was my eating habits. So they assume I am 100% vegan, that I eat healthy, that I'm a vegetarian or a vegan, or I'm somehow plant-based. So let's get into this. I think that I've never mentioned exactly how I eat on my channel because I don't really like to put labels on things, but I used to be a regular meat eating person, if you want to call it regular. That's how I grew up. I never have been one that actually likes meat. I will eat what my parents told me I had to eat with proportions, but then I would go back for the vegetable for seconds. So I just never have been a huge fan of meat. And then I got pregnant, and then I was repulsed by it. I couldn't handle it. It would make me sick to my stomach, and then I just couldn't eat whatever I was cooking. So I ended up finding different ways to, get the protein that I needed while being pregnant. And that happened and then I went back. After I had my son, I went back to how I normally ate. And then I got pregnant again with my daughter, and then the same thing happened. And after I had my daughter, every time I cooked anything meat related, I just couldn't stomach it. And so my husband and I talked, and he was, he kind of had the mindset of, if you're going to make it, I'm going to eat it. I don't really care what it is. So, and I'm lucky because literally he will eat pretty much anything. Kind of just, let me do my thing. And it kind of went into the idea of, okay, I can't do this mainly just because I can't stomach it. But then I started researching more into it and realized that, it really aligns with a lot of my other environmental values that I hold so dear to my heart. And so then I ended up pretty much being strictly vegan. My husband would eat meat at work. Eventually, everyone just kind of turned over towards eating only plant-based items. The one thing that we have never really given up is cheese. We do eat cheese pizza. If there is a vegan option for pizza, we choose that, but there are, I would say once a month we have cheese. So there is that. Then when my son went to school, it got a little harder because, they have birthday parties and stuff like that. I felt like I couldn't say no to some of the things that were being brought in, and I didn't want him to feel guilty for wanting those items either. So it just became a thing where we got a little bit more lenient, and then now we're to the point where if the kids want to try it, then they can by all means try it. They are 5 and 7. They're developing their own little brains, and eventually they will figure out what they want to do in life. So, to answer like the assumption, I would like to say that I just eat healthy. One of the things that I try and focus on is during snack time or any type of time where we're eating in between meals. We always have a fruit or veg or a nut, and we just like to keep things more healthy. I would love to own a home and have a garden and be able to grow my own food. Yeah, oh my gosh, that is a long answer to the assumption, but there was a lot of those, so if I answered every single one, maybe it would have taken that long. All right, the next one that I got a lot, and I would say this is the second one, is things like, I am never mad, I'm super zen, I don't have a temper. I mean, obviously that's not true. I try so hard to be calm, and I think it's important to show my kids how to handle stressful situations in a calm manner. So for the most part, I think that, yes, I'm pretty calm. I asked my husband this just because I wanted his opinion on it, just so I wasn't being like, oh yeah, I'm totally zen, like you guessed it. And he said that, don't think that you are zen per se, but I think that you have a very good control over your emotions. And so I think that's where I'm at. I just, I try not to get upset. If I start to feel myself get upset, especially with my kids, I tell them, or with my husband, I say, I think I just need to take a step back, or can you give me a moment? I'm getting upset, or I need to take a break. And so I think just voicing those needs really helps a person understand where you're coming from, just where you're emotionally at. I am also a non-confrontational person. So I feel like there is always a way to calm yourself down and have a discussion without getting angry and producing that anger and putting it on the next person. I think that when you control your emotions and you come at someone calmly, then I think that you're just giving them the respect that they deserve. And I kind of tell my kids this all the time. I just want to treat people how I want to be treated. Yeah, that was one of them. And then another one, let's see, trying to read my list here. I love adventures. Well, you guessed it. I do. I love adventures. I love doing new things, trying new things, meeting new people. I am an extroverted introvert, or I'm the opposite, an introverted extrovert. So I'm right on that borderline. Meeting new people is super fun. I love it, but at the same time, it takes a toll from me. And this is why I love journaling and art, because, it kind of recenters my body and my brain. So anyway, love adventures. If I could, I would live in an RV. It's a little difficult right now with the type of jobs that both my husband and I hold, but I'm thankful for what we have, considering we have like a little weekend adventure whenever we want. So it's awesome. And then the next one is, I have many friends. I wouldn't say that I have many friends. I am one of those people that feel like the quality over quantity is important. I've always been like that. Even when I was younger, I would much rather have a little amount of friends that mean the world to me than a lot of friends that I could go and do things with. I never was like a party girl, and I never have been a party girl or needing to get out. I don't need to get out of the house. I like to be home. I do like to go places and adventures, but my home is not necessarily like a house. My home is where my family is, my loved ones. But I wouldn't say that I have many friends. I feel that the friends that I have are many, if that makes sense. I can see that we are hitting the end of the video, so I just want to wrap things up. First, I wanted to say, again, a huge thank you to my patrons and anyone else that has supported me on my web shop. It means the world to me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I think I say that a lot, but it is so true. Secondly, thank you for anyone that dropped an assumption in my question box. I didn't get to them all, but can answer more assumptions for you in another video, or if you have anything, you can always just leave it in the comments below. I can either add it to the next video, or I can just answer you in the comments, because I do try to respond to them all. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and until next time, I'll see ya.